your head, you're probably thinking, okay, I'm gonna join the military, and you're thinking about basic combat training, being gone from your family. But as soon as you go to your recruiting station, it just becomes a lot more complicated than it needs to be, because you're going to be looking at different MOS, different jobs that are available to you based on your qualification. And then again, there's also the incentives and the options. That's where people get confused a lot of times. So we're going to talk about that in this video. What is the difference of an enlistment option versus an incentive? An incentive is a cash bonus, typically, and it's tied to the number of years you enlist. These incentives are being attached to certain MOSs in the Army that needs to be filled like as soon as possible. These options could be a quick ship bonus, seasonal bonus. There's so many of them, but the one thing that you need to understand is that the incentive is attached to a specific MOS and also the number of years. For example, if you enlist for 36 months, you get $20,000 bonus. And then for 48 months, $25,000. It changes. And it's impossible for me to show you right now what are the current bonuses, because number one, I don't have access to the systems anymore because I'm in school right now, but I will get access again after a year. But even then, if I showed you what's available now, it's not going to be available probably next week or next month, especially if it's a quick ship bonus or a seasonal bonus. So that's the incentive. Another thing about incentive is it's only available before you enlist, before you swear in at MEPS, which means after you swear in at MEPS, you cannot add an incentive. Here's an example. An infantry MOS offers $20,000 bonus for 36 months. That's an example. I'm not saying that's available right now, but sometimes it is. And then you're scheduled to go to MEPS, let's say on a Monday, to enlist in the Army. You sign your contract. After Monday, you're already added to the delayed entry program, which means you're just waiting to ship out. Tuesday comes along, and then bonus changes to, let's say, $30,000. Question you naturally ask is, on Monday I signed up for 20, on Tuesday's 30. Can I add a 10 grand difference? The answer is no. It's only available when you sign up. Now, what if you just back out of your contract? There's two ways to do that. Backing out of your contract. Number two, we call it reno. You're negotiating your contract. So be careful. When you renegotiate a contract, all the incentives are no longer available to you. So instead of getting $20,000, you'll get zero, and you get a job in the Army. That's it. But if you back out, completely back out, let's say I don't want to join the Army anymore, I just want to just not follow on a contract. What they're going to do is discharge you from the Army. You're going to sign a document, and then they'll punch you out as a future soldier loss. Question is, can you re-sign another contract when you do that? Yes, you can, but not so fast. For you to be able to re-sign another contract, you have to be discharged first from the future soldier program. The way it works is the colonel has to sign off on your discharge, and then they're going to cut orders of your discharge, upload it on your record. Once that happens, then you're able to rejoin. That's an active duty. Now, when you rejoin, if the job that you selected, let's say in this example, infantry, and he has a $30,000 bonus this time, then you're able to sign with the Army with a 30 grand bonus. However, if during that time that you're thinking you can maximize the bonus and you already got discharged and the bonus is no longer available, because bonuses are time sensitive, yes, you can wait. You can wait 1 week, 2 months, 3 months, sure. But in a lot of cases, when that happens, something happens in your life. Whether you get hurt, you're no longer qualified to join, you get arrested, or whatever reason. It's a risk, but yes, it is possible. Do I advise it? It doesn't really matter, because you're an adult at this point. You're able to make your own decision. Another thing about backing out of your contract, if you enlisted in the reserve with a specific bonus and you want to maximize that bonus, because same example, you had $20,000 for a certain MOS and you enlisted on a Monday, and on a Tuesday that MOS had 30 or 40 grand bonus, just an example, might not be there. You don't want to renegotiate your contract because you lose all the incentives. The only thing you can do at that point to take advantage of the incentive is to discharge. And the reserve is not that easy, because as soon as you get discharged in the reserve, there's a waiting period. You can rejoin the Army after 6 months. Then from there, you can select the job all over again, and hopefully you have a higher bonus, but there's no way of telling. So that's the risk. I would recommend, if you already got the job that you want and it comes with an incentive, a cash incentive, just move on, start your career in the Army. Now let's talk about options. Options, completely different. Let me give you 2 examples. Number 1 is option 4. Option 4 is airborne. Option 40, it's airborne ranger. Any MOS can be airborne, any MOS can be airborne ranger, or it could be added on to their enlistment contract. For example, if you're in 92 Golf, which is culinary specialist, you can have airborne on there, or you can have airborne ranger. The difference with the options and the incentive is that the options can be added later on, even after you have already enlisted, provided that there are training seats available. So if you're in the recruiting station and option 4 or option 40 is already available, just go for it. If you're in the recruiting station and you got the MOS that you wanted, but it doesn't come with option 4 or option 40, and you enlist on Monday, but you don't ship till about a month from now, then you still can talk to your recruiter, which he could or she could talk to their operations and the battalion level, brigade level. Hey, can we request to get this option added, whether it's airborne or airborne ranger? No guarantees, but they can make it happen. On the flip side, if you had an option and after your enlistment you decided, you know what, I really don't want to go to airborne anymore or go airborne ranger, they can take that off your contract. You don't need to renew, you don't need to discharge. So any changes you make on your enlistment contract when it comes to options, you don't need to renegotiate the contract, you don't need to get discharged. If you already have an incentive on there, which is cash incentive, let's say 30 grand, 20 grand, and you want to add an option on there, it is possible without doing anything else in your contract. It's just an add-on, or they can remove it. Those are the 2 big differences with the incentives and the options. Now, can you do both? Well, I kind of alluded to it. You can do it right off the bat. If there's an MOS that's available that has an option, which is option 4 or option 40, airborne or airborne ranger, and on top of that, $20,000 bonus. And depending on the years that you enlist, the bonus might go up before you join. I'm hoping you already done your research about the certain job that you already selected in the Army, because the Army is kind of special. You cannot enlist without a job reserved for you yet. There's no such thing as an open contract. So you will select a job 7 days or 10 days, depending on the location. You will select a job before you swear in. So by the time you enlist in the Army, you already know what you're going to be doing and how many years you're going to be enlisting for. But you're the one is going to be signing your signature on those dotted lines. And I'm hoping that this video would actually help you out before or even when you're already enlisted. As usual, if you learned something in this video, let me know in the comments below. And if you learned something about your process, put in the comments too, because people are watching these videos. They're trying to learn your insight. It's very valuable to them. Stay new so that you can learn a lot more. This is the High Speed FNG. I'll catch you in the next video.